Let's jump right in and demystify NGINX. It's really the unsung hero, the bouncer standing directly between the chaotic, dangerous public internet and your fragile backend code. If you've ever found yourself wondering how modern web apps actually stay online, how they load in a blink, and literally deflect malicious traffic all day, well, you're about to meet the tool that makes all that magic happen.
We've got a packed agenda for this explainer. We're going to start at the front door, break down the core roles, dive into speed and security, map out some catastrophic production pitfalls to avoid, and finally, look at the bigger picture. Okay, part 1, the internet's front door. Let's set the stage and look at the core problem with raw backend apps and how we actually secure them.
So first things first, it's pronounced NGINX. Basically, it receives traffic from users and securely hands it off to the right backend service. Think of it as the ultimate front door for your web app. It's a high-performance web server, a reverse proxy, a load balancer, and an HTTP cache, all packed into one seriously efficient piece of software.
Now, the stakes here are absolutely massive. Exposing your backend directly to the internet? Sure, that's totally fine for tinkering on your laptop. But doing that in a real production environment? No way. It's incredibly risky. Putting NGINX in the middle changes everything. It acts as a shield. It handles the HTTPS encryption, it filters the requests, and it routes the traffic so that only safe, valid data ever touches your backend. It just makes the whole system cleaner and 1,000 times safer. Moving right along to part 2, core roles of NGINX. Let's take a look at the different hats this thing wears on a daily basis. First up is its traditional web server role. It's basically a lightning-fast concierge. NGINX is insanely good at serving static files directly to users. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, you name it. It usually just grabs these from a folder like /var/www/html and fires them off so fast that your actual backend code doesn't have to sweat a single drop of CPU or memory dealing with them. And then there's its role as a reverse proxy. This is where it gets sneaky. When a user visits a site like api.example.com, they aren't actually talking to your application. They're talking to NGINX. NGINX takes that public request and quietly passes it back to a hidden backend, maybe running on port 3000. The outside world literally never sees port 3000. Your backend is completely invisible to the public internet. But what if you go viral? You've got thousands of users, and one backend just won't cut it. Well, NGINX steps in as the ultimate traffic cop. It load balances, distributing traffic smoothly across multiple backend servers. One gets overloaded? No problem. It just seamlessly shifts the traffic to the others. It can even route based on specific URL paths, or send different subdomains to totally different apps, all from the exact same server. All right, part 3, speed and security. Let's look at how NGINX actively supercharges your app's performance and safety at the exact same time. Let's talk encryption, because in production, HTTPS is non-negotiable. Admin panels, APIs, they all need it. NGINX does something called SSL or TLS termination. Basically, it handles all the heavy, complex encryption math right at the front door. Since NGINX decrypts the incoming traffic, your internal backend can just run simple, fast, standard HTTP without worrying about managing security certificates at all. Now, caching. This is a huge speed boost, but listen, it's a massive double-edged sword. NGINX can drastically cut backend load by remembering and serving previous responses. 1,000 users want the exact same product image. NGINX only bothers the backend once. But you have to be so careful here. Caching a public landing page? Brilliant. Accidentally caching a user's private wallet balance and showing it to the next random visitor? Yeah, that is a catastrophic security failure. For even more speed, NGINX compresses text-heavy files on the fly using gzip or Brotli. It shrinks HTML, CSS, and JSON, saving tons of bandwidth and making your site feel incredibly snappy. But here's the catch. Do not, and I mean do not, waste your server's CPU trying to compress files that are already compressed by nature. Things like JPGs, MP4 videos, or zip files. It's just wasted effort. On the security front, NGINX gives you crucial rate limiting. This is your bouncer. It chokes off abusive traffic before it even gets inside. Whether someone's trying to brute force a login, scrape your database, or just spam your public API with thousands of requests a second, NGINX steps up and blocks them cold, keeping your core business logic completely safe. Okay, part 4, avoiding production disasters. Look, NGINX is super easy to get started with, but it's famously easy to misconfigure. Let's talk about the pitfalls. First up is what we call the Docker trap. People love pairing NGINX with Docker, but a really common mistake is telling NGINX to proxy traffic to localhost, thinking it'll magically hit the backend container. But remember, inside a container, localhost just points right back to NGINX itself. You've got to use the actual Docker Compose service name, like API, or it's just going to loop. You also absolutely must ensure NGINX passes along the right context. Otherwise, your backend might think every single request is coming from NGINX's internal IP address. You have to explicitly configure it to pass vital headers like the original client IP and host. Oh, and if you're running real-time apps like a live dashboard or chat, missing the specific WebSocket upgrade headers will instantly break those continuous connections. They'll just drop dead. This brings us to a golden rule. If you do not check your NGINX logs, you are debugging blindly. Seriously, I cannot overstate this. Your access logs show every single incoming request, and your error logs show all the timeouts and bad gateways. When your production environment inevitably goes down, these logs are your absolute best friend. Ultimately, a bad config turns a great backend into an unstable nightmare. We call these the production sins: exposing backend ports to the public, skipping HTTPS, forgetting rate limits, missing timeout or upload limits so users can crash your server with massive files. But the absolute deadliest sin? Directly editing a live production config and reloading it without testing it first. Always run a syntax test before reloading. Always. Finally, part 5. Beyond the basics. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture so you know exactly where NGINX fits in the landscape. You've probably heard of Apache. They're both web servers, but with very different vibes. Apache is older, super flexible, and still great for traditional PHP hosting. But NGINX was built from the ground up for high concurrency. Because of its tiny memory footprint, amazing static file speed, and flawless reverse proxying, it's really the cleaner, go-to choice for modern containerized deployments. Now, people always ask, is NGINX an API gateway? Well, kinda. It handles basic gateway stuff perfectly. Fast routing, TLS, load balancing. But if you're building a business that needs a full developer portal, API key management, monetization plans, or deep OAuth integration, you're going to need a dedicated full API gateway solution, not just NGINX on its own. And what about scaling to the moon? NGINX is a beast, but when you hit massive scale, like a giant Kubernetes ingress setup, a crazy complex service mesh, or dynamic multi-region routing, NGINX might start to show its limits. That's when engineering teams usually graduate to heavy-duty tools like Envoy, Traffic, Kong, or HA Proxy to handle all that insane complexity. But honestly, for the vast majority of web apps, NGINX is the perfect fit. The real magic here is the separation of concerns. It takes all the grueling, dangerous work of managing public traffic, HTTPS, and routing completely off your plate. And because it handles the front door so flawlessly, your backend is totally freed up to just focus on what it does best, running your core business logic. So, I hope this explainer gave you a really clear, solid mental model of what NGINX is and why it's so fundamental to modern architecture. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one absolutely crucial question to ask yourself today. Is your backend truly protected behind a robust traffic controller like NGINX? Or is your front door currently sitting wide open to the internet?